So now we're beginning, all right? Hey everyone, welcome to our Mentor Spotlight series where we get to meet the incredible people behind the Nepal US Hackathon 2026. That being said, today we have one of our mentors, and I'm super duper excited for you to meet him. He is Mr. Sabin Shrestha, Director of Product at Equality Healthcare. And thank you so much for joining us, Sabin. How is it going? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, pretty busy, but I'm excited to chat with you.
Yeah, and even in your busy schedule, you took the time out. I am really, really, really glad. So let's just jump right into it. Can you briefly introduce yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Sabin Shrestha. I'm a product manager, but that's not how I started my career. I went to school for computer science and mathematics. I wanted to become a software engineer, but I quickly realized, like I am not very good at just sitting and working. My nature was mostly like how can I plan? How can I do more strategy? So I quickly moved on to doing a lot of like business analyst work when I started. And then that kind of led me into a path of product. So right now, basically what I do is I'm in the healthcare space mostly. That's my
Mhm.
domain. So my role basically is taking a problem and solving it through, development of products, apps, whatever it may be, to solve problems for the society, right? So um, if you think of my role, it's mostly like I'm a quarterback, sort of like in the middle of everything, and I work and collaborate with people from every departments to get that product from idea to working software. Yeah.
All right. That's really interesting. And I'm doing nursing right now. So that sounds super duper interesting to me. And also you said you were not originally into this, but you somehow found your way through it. And
Yep.
then your whole work, your whole like foundation of doing this work is basically, building ideas and then presenting the product, which is kind of all what this hackathon is about,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
it's amazing to have you here on our team. And like I said, we are very, very excited. So that being said, what made you say, okay, now I don't like computer engineering a lot? I mean, what exposure led to this realization that you want to go out and have fun and then, just work with products and work in stuffs that create actual valuable stuff out?
Yeah. So if you think about engineering, right, it's all about how. It's all about like how do we solve this? How do we do this? And Uh, I did, when I was in school, I did an internship at Thomson Reuters as a developer, and I was working there for 3 months as an intern. And that was the moment when, I was sitting in my computer, like they told me I need to do this, 200 lines of code, and I
Yeah,
just need to update this code, right? And
yeah,
I'm sitting there, and it was kind of a thought process I had was like, what am I doing and why I'm doing this? Like, I have no clue. And
yeah.
I have 8 hours to do this, but I finished my job in like, 1 hour. What do I do for 7 hours, right? So at that moment, I saw all these people going into conference room, like, they were writing stuff in whiteboard, they were talking, and I'm like, what do they do? So I was very curious about like, I want to do that. I want to collaborate. I want to talk with people, instead of just focusing on a block of code. Obviously, times have changed and engineering roles have changed in future, uh, but the way I was thinking about this is like, I want to be part of what are we building? Why are we building? Instead of
Huh?
how are we building? So I wanted to be part of that, and that kind of shifted my mindset more into, okay, like technology and coding and all that is nice and it's good, but I want to be part of a little bit more planning and strategy and figuring out like what is important for the society versus how cool this app is, right? Like, so it's two different
Yeah.
things. So after I graduated, I made an intentional approach of like, I'm not going to look for software engineer roles. I'm going to look for more like business roles. So that was kind of like where, it kind of shifted.
It changed, and here we are, right?
Yeah, and here we are.
I mean, all's well, it ends well, and I can see that you're a very outdoorsy person. You like
Yes.
to be out there. So amazing, amazing stuff. Now, that being said, I'm sure you've had a lot of experiences in mentoring and building communities and being part of something. So, what made you say yes to being part of like Nepal US Hackathon? What was the magnet factor of this pulling you towards being in mentor?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's people, right? Like for me, connection is more important than competition. For me, collaboration is more important than doing things alone. And I really, really live by that, not just in my career, but also like my normal day-to-day life. When I saw this group, right, like Shreyas created, I was very excited. I was like, okay, and me being a community leader myself in Denver, I wanted to support another community leader, basically, like because it's hard, building community is hard, building stuff is hard, right? Like, so I'm like, I will do as much as possible, given my time, to support this community in whatever way I can, So that's been kind of my thought process, whether it's hackathon, whether it's whatever it is, right? Like, I'll try to support uh people who are building stuff, and the support goes a long way, and so that's kind of like my mindset is, just connect with more people, help people, and kind of build that connection.
And lift up the communities, right? Because
Yeah,
that's what we are.
exactly. Lift up and help each other out, right? Like, we might meet through hackathons and we meet through career, but life is, there's different things in life, and there's definitely more to learn from each other. So,
Yeah, perfect. And dwelling on that topic, so you chose to move into the startup ecosystem, right?
yeah,
Where building, experimenting, and thing happens constantly. It's a constant
yes.
game, which is how hackathon is structured. Like you have 48 hours, and then you just need to get everything done together and maximize your potential, maximize your output. So, what advice would you give to the participants to get the most out of it during such a fast-paced event?
Yeah, yeah. I would say the biggest thing would be like creating a singular focus on the problem we're trying to solve. A lot of the time what happens, and this is human nature, right? Like we want to solve, so a lot of the time our brain, especially software engineers, right? Like their brain, how their brain works is like they want to actually go build something. Um, and that leads to building something that might not be of value, So I would say the biggest advice is like, let's focus on the problem we're solving. Let's focus on why that problem is important. Let's focus on who we are solving it for and try to see real value there, right? Like, and if we can zone into like one singular thing and focus on what are the things that the user might want to see, what are the problems that we're solving for the user, the solution actually becomes pretty clear. So I would say like the biggest thing I would say is like just getting clarity on the problem is super important because that's going to lead you to solving that problem in the right way, instead of like jumping into solutioning.
Different solutions, yeah.
Yeah,
Keep your eyes on the prize, right?
yeah.
All right. So that being said, like, what do you think? Why do you think being a part of a community, like we said, or being part of the Nepal US Hackathon 2026 is valuable not only for students but for tech professionals and just tech enthusiasts who are willing to learn?
Um, I mean, so it's it's like, the knowledge you share, you gain, right? Like if I'm sharing my knowledge to people, I'm gaining that knowledge, right? So and
Mhm.
same in the same way, um, I get to see how people like, especially Nepali community works. Like, I've been working in my industry for a while. I think in my career, only
Yeah.
one time I had a Nepali person in my team, so not really worked with Nepali people, right? So this is an opportunity also like for me to understand like, how we are doing as a community, how we can lift each other up. So there's I mean, when we talk about value, the value can be intangibles, right? Like it doesn't need to be only data, like the value can be just knowing somebody, and the value can be if somebody's moving to Denver, they'll be like, oh, I know this guy from the community, and they can come and meet us here, So there's a lot of value to be gained out of this experience, and especially stuff like hackathon, right? Like this is great because uh, we need more people to create things, especially from Nepal. Like we need more
Mhm.
people to create things than consume things. So it's also a good way to think about how we can build versus just consume.
Yes, and that's actually the whole point of why we're doing this, because I
Yep.
was speaking with other people and everybody says that I'm in tech, I'm in IT, I'm in this, I'm in that, but everyone has the same opinion. Like I have worked for a very long time, but it's only one, two Nepali people rarely
Yep.
that I meet. But we do have the talent, we do have the resources. It's
Yep.
just not bringing them out. And speaking of that, how do you think participants should interact with you? You being one of the mentors, like what should their goal point be before coming to one of your sessions or interacting with you?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, especially with me, come with questions, try to get clarity on what you're trying to do. I can help you with like getting clarity on, like I said, the problem framing, focusing on the users, right? Like, the who we are building it for. So try to gain clarity from a requirement standpoint rather than, let's
Mhm.
say, at least with me, technical guidance. Like I do know technical stuff here and there, but like um, one of the thing, to be honest with you, that annoys me sometimes is like when people ask me how to do stuff. So, so it's not about how to do stuff. It's more about like try to understand the what and the why behind it, and then the how. It's all your creative. It is up to you, right? Like how do you want to solve it?
Yeah, that's amazing. The way you said, try to understand the why and the what,
Yeah.
and then you will get to the how by just
Yeah.
paving the way. And I think, yeah, you mentors are not spoon feeding you, basically.
Exactly.
You're
Yep.
gonna bring the ingredients and put it on their table, but they have to eat it themselves. Otherwise,
Yep.
it's not gonna work. So,
Yep.
perfect note. With that note, what's one piece of like advice you give? And you've been in a lot of leadership roles and seeing people and new people just being excited about coming to new things. What's one common mistakes participants make, especially in hackathons, because there's a time limit and everything just happens so fast, even if it's slow.
Yeah.
So, what's
Um,
one mistake you commonly see people make during?
One common mistake I would say is getting alignment, with your team members.
Okay.
So you need to, like I said, it's the same concept, but you need to align, uh, have a shared alignment on the prize, right? Like you need to have a shared alignment on the goals, the jobs that we want to solve. If you don't have that shared alignment, then there's gonna be conflict on how people are thinking about that same problem. So I would say that's the main thing in any team, right? Like, when we're working with teams, cross collaborating, part of my, like, I would say 50% of my job is not even product, right? Like it's more like how do I bring people together and create that shared understanding and shared alignment. Um and it's not just for product people, it's for engineers as well. Like, when engineers are talking with themselves, they need to be aligned on the technical architecture, they need to be aligned on a lot of things, so focus on uh don't focus on like your this is my way, and my way is the right way.
Yeah.
It's more about like being a team player and figuring out what is the best way for us as a team to move forward to this shared goal. So I would say that's probably the advice I would say is like leave your ego behind and come to the table with more collaborative nature.
Yeah, more collaborative spirit. We
Yeah.
are working. Yeah, that's perfect. And I really love how you are bringing the idea that, in a lot of these events, especially when, let's say, someone is working in XYZ company, then he or she has that preconceived notion of, yes, I am this and I'm something this. And let's say his or her team member is just a student starting out, a freshman in college. So uh, being able to also value their opinions is, I think, a big
Yeah.
challenge,
Yep.
and that is actually very important in the team, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And that's how you let people grow. Like if I, as a leader, always say, hey, like this is the way, then you're not letting people grow. Like people are gonna be reserved. They are not gonna have this confidence that, hey, I can think for myself. So part of leadership is just letting people do their thing, and you are just helping, and leadership is more like, I'm a catalyst, right? Like I'm helping you with stuff, but it's on you to showcase your talent, right? And sure, you'll make mistakes, but mistakes are part of life, and you'll learn from it. But uh, as leaders, that's what I do normally, is like I don't mind people failing, like uh, and there should be rooms for failure, and that's the only way to actually learn and get better, so I think that's the spirit, like, we need to have, in especially in hackathons where there's 2 days. We should not afraid to like experiment something quick, fail, that's fine, move on to something, right? Like, we should not be afraid to, like, we should not try to achieve perfection, is what I'm trying to say.
Perfect. Yeah, because um, the breaking the third barrier, like you said, like just being out there is what's more important than actually winning this competition. And I
Yeah.
think mentors bring a lot of that value into this, and for which again we are so very grateful. And all these people coming and they don't know what to do, what would you say to them to take this initiative, because so many people out there still, after all of these things you said about initiative, about learning new things, about community building, they might still feel like, oh, but maybe it's not for me. What would you say to them?
I would say, I mean, and this is something that I live by, right? Like, you are not going to know if you like something or you don't like something unless you try something. You know,
Yeah.
when people say, I don't like to do this, and you haven't even tried it yet, how do you know? Like, how do you know you don't like it? So my rule of thumb is I give myself 90 days on a particular topic. Whether I like it
Okay.
or not, I'll do it. And within 90 days, I'll quickly know if I like to do it more or I don't like to do it. So give yourself some time to, in any field, whether it's running or software programming, it doesn't matter, right? Like anything you try, give it a shot, right? So hackathon is same thing. Like, come with an open mind. Don't be afraid to fail. Nobody's gonna judge you. Nobody's gonna say you did a bad job, right? Like it's more about learn, just soaking it in, right? Like it's like you should be like a sponge, right? Like you're soaking it in. And I will come with the same mindset, even though I'm mentoring, I'm coming in the same mindset of like sponge. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna learn, I'm gonna provide my things, yes, but I'm also gonna learn how people operate, how people are thinking about things, and it's only gonna make my uh kind of experience better. And same with the participants as well, so I would say that.
Yeah. Yeah, the drive away home is there is always room for improvement. And if you being a mentor can learn something from them, then obviously the amount of amplification from their side is going to be insane. And like you said, there's nothing to lose, right? You only
Yep,
have things to gain.
exactly.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Our time is almost over though. This conversation was very short. I feel like it was very short, even though we spoke for some time. So thank you
Yeah,
so much for being such an amazing speaker.
thank you.
And am I audible right
Yeah, yeah, you are. Yep,
now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I think your camera just glitched, so I was just making sure. Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yep.
So yeah, and if I ever come to Colorado, I'm definitely doing Himalayan tribe and going on a hike.
Yeah, definitely would love to have you here. Can you hear me?
Thank you so much. And is there any last minute thought you would like to give? How excited you are? Anything you want to say about the Nepali leaders community? Any last minute thoughts you'd like to give? I'm so sorry. I
Um,
think we're having a little bit of a internet problem at the beginning. I don't know if it's mine or yours, but
okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
yeah, a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, last minute thought, like I'm really excited about this initiative. that Shreyas took to open
Mhm.
a community like this. Like, it's just a high level. Like, I'm super excited. It's super good to connect with people at a career level, but even at a personal level, right? Like, as this community develops, we'll know each other a little bit more. And that's my thing is like, I want to know people as people, and not just like what role they are in, and those are also good, but like I love developing relationship with people, and knowing them more. So that's what's something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. It was amazing talking to you and your leadership goals, community goals. I'm sure are going to be so very helpful because we have a time constraint and the students will really want to have someone who they can actually ask for things and get a clear answer to. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. And yeah, see you in Colorado in one of the hikes.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe it's on my end. So, but it's me too. And see you on March 27 to 29. Thank you so much, Sabin. Have a wonderful day ahead. Yep, sounds good. Thank you.